in 1988 at 18 years old. I was stacking boxes in a warehouse for minimum wage, wearing shoes so worn they barely qualified as footwear. I had no plans for college, no ambition beyond surviving the week. That all changed the day a man pulled up in a shiny red Kenworth. He looked like a character straight out of a country song, confident, relaxed, and clearly doing well for himself. We talked during my break, and that's when he told me he made 4 times my paycheck, just driving a truck across the country. I remember staring at my shoes and thinking, I could do that. I took every dollar I'd saved for a car and used it to get my CDL 1 month later. I was heading to my first interview unaware. That decision would define the next 40 years of my life. Trucking gave me freedom, money, and solitude. Once the keys turned, it was just me, the engine, and miles of open road. I saw the country without paying a dime for travel, but I paid in other ways, holidays alone. Meals eaten from plastic containers and nights, sleeping on bunks that felt like concrete slabs. The worst part of trucking wasn't the hours, the regulations, or the disrespect from shippers. It was people 6 years into my career. That truth hit harder than ever. I was heading east on I-80 near Lincoln, Nebraska. Around 2 in the morning, the road was empty, the CB silent. And my engine hummed like a lullaby, and I saw something pale moving on the shoulder. I slowed down, hit my brights, and saw a young woman in a thin white dress, hair wild, thumb out. Every warning story screamed in my head. I should have kept driving, but something about her made me pull over. That single choice would haunt me for the rest of my life up close. She looked younger than I'd expected. The backpack on her shoulders, the bruises on her arms, and mascara streaks on her cheeks told a story without words. She thanked me quietly and climbed into the cab. For the first 10 minutes, she didn't speak. I told her whatever put her on the road wasn't my business and that she was safe for now. She said her name was Riley. We talked carefully at first. She asked about trucking, about sleeping in the cab, about lonely nights at truck stops. Then she asked if I was married. I told her I'd been divorced 5 years. She asked if I loved my ex-wife. I nodded. Then she asked if I hit her. The question hit me like ice water, I answered calmly, saying no, assuming she'd grown up seeing violence. Riley said I didn't look like the type. Then she asked if I had kids. I told her about my daughter who had died at 18. That should have ended the conversation instead. She asked if I touched her. My foot nearly slammed the brake. I warned her those questions were dangerous. Her face fell, then twisted in a laughter. High, sharp, and wrong. She said she was joking and mocked me for being sensitive. The jokes turned darker. She taunted me using a childlike voice, daring me to react. When she finally accused me outright, rage flooded my chest. I pulled the truck over and ordered her out. That's when she pulled a gun from her backpack, small but steady. She told me to sit back down. I obeyed. This wasn't about kicking her out anymore. This was survival. We got back on the road slower now. She ordered me to drive and stay quiet. While I questioned her, she bragged about killing a man in Denver. I didn't believe her until she proved it. Riley reached into her backpack and pulled out a plastic container. When she opened it, the smell hit me like a punch. Inside were 2 pale, oval shapes floating in dark jelly. I gagged. She laughed like a witch. She said she cut them off a man after killing him. My hand shook on the wheel. I believed she was capable of anything. Then she laughed again and told me they were pig testicles, mocking me for believing her. By then, truth didn't matter. She was unhinged, dangerous, and enjoying my fear. She eventually ordered me to pull into a truck stop. Before leaving, she told me she usually killed men she rode with, but not me. She said she knew I wouldn't hurt her because she reminded me of my dead daughter. She was right. I hated her, but I couldn't pull the trigger. She walked off into the night hunting her next victim. 30 miles later, I called the police. They never found her. I still think about her, wondering if she survived, or if someone finally stopped her. That encounter aged me years overnight. Trucking was already brutal. Long hours, mistakes that cost money, exhaustion. That nearly killed me once when I pushed past my driving limit and hallucinated reflectors. Dancing on the road, I learned the hard way that trucking isn't just driving. It's learning how to live inside a machine. Eventually things clicked. I learned my sleep rhythm, how to chain up in snow, how to ignore reckless drivers. The fear faded, replaced by confidence. I remember thinking, this is my life now. But early mistakes nearly ended it. One bad decision can cost everything on the road. And I learned that the road doesn't forgive, even after decades behind the wheel. I still feel tight in my chest when the night gets too quiet. Some roads remember you, some faces never fade. I don't believe people are born evil, but I believe evil can be made. That girl wasn't born a monster. Someone turned her into one. Trucking gave me freedom. But it also showed me humanity at its worst. Every mile since that night, I've driven a little more careful, a little more aware. Because out there beyond the headlights, not everything waving you down is worth stopping for.